Donald Trump just had his most psychotic meltdown yet in the Oval Office, and that's saying something. He said, "I love inflation. I love it. I love inflation," he proclaimed. This as we just got the hottest inflation report to date. May CPI inflation came in very hot, rising to 4.2%. That's the highest level since April 2023. As I've said before, we're heading to 5.5%, 6% inflation in the next 6 months or so. Here was Donald Trump from the Oval Office saying, "I love it. I love this inflation." Let's play this clip.
Are you concerned, Mr. President, about the latest inflation number which came out this morning? Could that be a
No, I love it. The numbers were great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, you know, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships, late at night with no lights, because they don't have any radar, because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel. I mean, you take a look.
Now, right before Donald Trump was in the Oval Office, he was also posting, "Praise be to Allah, Allah Akbar." That's what he was posting on social media. Here's what he writes. "The fake news media refuses to report how effective the blockade is. The most successful blockade in history. Nothing gets through it. It's a steel wall. Iran is doing zero business, not paying their military or any bills, and quickly becoming a failed nation. Lots of oil getting out. Praise be to Allah. Donald J. Trump." And then he threatens that he's going to blow up all of the bridges and infrastructure and wipe out the Iranian civilization. Again, he said that's going to happen today. We're doing a civilization wipeout of Iran today, he says. He said it in the Oval Office, and he said it on a social media post. In a social media post, he said, "Iran's military is a complete and total mess. Much of it doesn't exist anymore. They've been completely defeated. They're all talk, no action. They're the bully of the Middle East. They're dead. They've taken too long to negotiate a deal that would have been great for them. Now they will pay the price." And then he says, "We're going to hit them very hard today." And I'll show you in a bit. He calls up state regime media, Fox, and he says, "We're going to blow up their bridges. They've been tapping us along. They've been tapping us." But here's what he says in the Oval Office. "We're going to hit them hard, and we're very close to doing a deal. We're going to hit them hard. We're very close. It's right around the corner. And we're going to blow up their civilization." This is how pathetic he is. Let's play this clip.
There'd be no Middle East, and they would have absolutely shot at us. So we'll see what happens. But we hit them hard yesterday, and we're going to hit them again hard today, in case you miss it, in case you don't turn on your television set. And we'll see what happens with the deal. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers because...
Then he goes on to say, "Iran keeps playing us for suckers because they've dealt with stupid presidents, but I'm the smart one." Let's play this clip.
And we'll see what happens with the deal. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers because, you know what? They dealt with some very stupid presidents. I have to say that. I'm embarrassed to say it. Some very stupid people were sitting there. Yeah.
Mr. President.
Then a reporter says, "Okay, got it. You're crazy. Let's talk about a new topic. United States-Mexico-Canada agreement. It's currently undergoing a review. What's your thought about a trade deal with Canada and Mexico?" "We don't need Canada and Mexico. They need us. We don't need anything from them at all. In fact, why would we do a deal with them at all?" If you want to know why our markets are crashing right now, but more importantly, why the American people are suffering so much right now and can't afford anything, it's because quite literally there is a lunatic in the Oval Office. And I'm not saying this to be hyperbolic. We have someone who should be wearing a straitjacket and in a psychiatric ward is in the Oval Office. Here's what he says. Let's play this clip.
MCA did one thing that I loved. After 6 years, it comes up for renewal. I don't know that I'm going to renew it because, to be honest with you, United States is much better. Hey, we don't need anything that Canada has. We don't need anything that Mexico has, but they need everything that we have. And they have to treat us better. You know, with Mexico and Canada, we have trade deficits. We should have surpluses with them. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything that they have. So the primary thing that I got, it was a much better deal than NAFTA. Much, much better. It was sort of a good deal, but it was a great deal for one reason. It gave the right to terminate, and who would have thought that I was, you know, they just didn't want to have it during the 4-year period when I was president. So now they made it so that I wouldn't be president, and because they rigged the election, the second election, as you probably hear and probably know, most of you know that happened, and now it's been proven, and it will be proven as time goes by even more so. We have things that you won't.
And then he said, now I want to reveal the secret that we've been doing. You see, the reason why gas is so cheap right now, he says, right, we all know how cheap, I'm being sarcastic. It's so cheap because we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil every night, and Iran didn't know until right now. Let's play this clip.
Inflation to come down between now and
When the war is over?
Yes.
It's coming down.
I know you can't.
It's going to come down like a rock. And again, we're taking out millions, which I'm just announcing today for the first time. But we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil. Millions of barrels. Every night we took out oil. But now I'm going to tell you because they just figured it out. So now that they figured it out, I can tell you. It was very hard for me. I wanted to say it so badly, but I didn't want to ruin it. But it was very hard. But millions of barrels of oil has come out. And that's why it's at $85, $90 a barrel instead of $250. But we have the greatest military in the world, the toughest military in the world.
Then he goes on to say, and guess what? Iran doesn't have any drones. Most of their drones are gone. Their missiles are gone. They don't have a military. Fascinating, because didn't you say that an Apache was hit by one of their Shahid drones? In a moment, I'm going to show you also what the Trump regime narrative is now about the purported Shahid drone that hit the Apache. They're like, the drone hit the Apache, but it didn't blow up. And then the pilots flew with the Shahid drone in the helicopter itself. Okay. Here's what he says about their drones being gone. Let's play it.
159 ships at the bottom of the sea. There's no Air Force. All of their planes are blown up. Most of their drones are gone. Most of their drone making ability is gone. Most of their missiles are gone. All of their leadership is gone, so they replaced it. All of that leadership is gone, so they replaced it. And that's the people we're dealing with now. And I think they're going to want to make a deal, but we're going to find out.
Inflation to come down between now and
when the war is over?
Yes.
It's coming down.
I know you can't.
It's going to come.
The vast majority of supplements have incredibly low absorption rates, meaning most of what people spend money on never actually gets used by the body. The absorption company is focused on solving that exact problem with pharmaceutical-grade absorption technology designed to help nutrients actually work. Because no matter how powerful a supplement is on paper, it only matters if your body can absorb it. The absorption company is singularly focused on solving the biggest problem in supplements: low absorption. Most supplements absorb at less than 16%, meaning over 84% of the supplements we take are completely wasted. 77% of Americans take supplements daily. We spend over $60 billion per year on supplements, and yet over 95% of us are still nutrient deficient. The supplements we're taking every day do not absorb well enough to work. The absorption company uses cutting-edge technologies to make the supplements with pharmaceutical-grade absorption up to 149 times better than standard supplements. Absorption is the one thing that affects all others. No matter how powerful vitamin D, magnesium, CoQ10, or any other supplement could be, it only works if it absorbs. Magnesium supports over 300 bodily functions. It promotes better sleep, supports muscle recovery, regulates stress and mood, and much more. But most magnesium absorbs between between 4 to 8%, meaning over 90% is wasted. The absorption company's magnesium absorbs 8 times better than standard magnesium. So you get better sleep, better muscle recovery, and more. If you have tried magnesium and didn't feel that it was working, it wasn't your fault. It was the absorption's fault. Start taking supplements your body can actually absorb. Go to absorbmore.com and enter Meidas at checkout for up to 35% off your first order. That's absorbmore.com and enter Meidas at checkout for 35% off your first order.
And then he says, in my rallies by the Lincoln Memorial and on the Washington Mall had far more millions of people than Martin Luther King. Let's play it.
It's really beautiful. It's something for you to see. It's incredible. It's the longest pool in the world by 3 or 4 times. It's really pretty amazing. That's where Martin Luther King made his great speech. And they say he had 1 million people. And I made a speech there for July 4th a few years ago. And they said, and I was packed. And they said, I had 25,000 people. They said he had 1 million. But when you look at the picture, I said, well, wait, the people were even tighter at mine. I had more people than him, but they said I had 25,000 and he had 1 million. But I'm not going to argue with Martin Luther King because I like that.
Then he said, you know why? You know why a Republican candidate got through to the next round of the governor's race? Why Steve Hilton beat Steyer and is now going against Javier Becerra? Trump goes, it's because of me. We found out it was rigged, and I started saying rigged, 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 rigged. So then they de-rigged it just for Hilton. Trump says this with a straight face, and that's why I'm saying, folks, I'm not doing hyperbolic titles. I think I am accurately stating facts. This is truly a psychotic, lunatic, demented person who really needs to be in a straitjacket, in a psychiatric ward, like Hannibal Lecter with The Mask. I mean, we're quite literally dealing with a level of lunacy that is off the charts in terms of psychopathy and malignant narcissism. Let's play this clip.
And I saw them say it was going to be 2 weeks before they knew. And I started hitting them. It's going to happen to Steve Hilton too. It's watch. You got to watch. And they approved Steve Hilton very quickly. They didn't want to. There was too much heat on him. The only reason he got approved, he had all the votes he needed, probably to be first place. But the only reason they approved Steve Hilton, it was going to be 2 weeks. They said it. And then they approved him that night because the heat was on them. Because they're cheating dogs.
Then more, he whines about elections are rigged. I'll show this to you.
They rigged the election, the second election, as you probably hear and probably know. Most of you know that happened, and now it's been proven. And it will be proven as time goes by even more so. We have things that you won't believe. When we release the full files, you're not going to believe how crooked the 2020 election was. But
then he says, and when it comes to the World Cup, don't worry, we're making sure only the right people get in. As you know from my reporting and other reporting, the United States is not letting in Somalian referee who's like a world-renowned referee. They're not letting in fans of many countries. There's like a 50-60% rejection rate of visas for countries that Donald Trump doesn't like. Horrible. It goes against everything that sports are supposed to be about. Listen to what he says. Let's play it.
But because of the success, some people are afraid that it's going to be harder and harder to get visas to come from outside. Can you
well, we're working on it very closely to make sure the right people come into our country.
And he signs whatever executive order. It doesn't even matter because this whole entire charade was pure lunacy, and these orders don't actually do anything. It's just performative. But he signs it, and then they applaud for him like he's like a little baby, like that he signs it. Like, yay, Donald. He's like, Biden couldn't do this. What do you mean Biden couldn't do? Biden was a competent adult and grown-up who was old and stuttered. You are a lunatic who has trashed our country. That's just the reality. Let's play this clip.
That's the real deal right there.
Okay.
Now, it should be noted, while Donald Trump has threatened to blow the hell out of Iran and send him into the Stone Age or whatever his latest threats are, but also a deal right around the corner. It's notable what's happening today. You have the Qatari mediators are in Tehran. I mean, earlier this morning, Reuters reported Qatari negotiators arrived in Tehran before Donald Trump posted all of this in an attempt to finalize an agreement between the U.S. and Iran, because these Middle East countries are suffering so much right now as the United States security umbrella is broken and their economies are getting crushed. So they're trying to do a deal. So the Qatari negotiator flies out there to Tehran, and then Trump thinks that this is how you negotiate. I'm going to blow you. You sign on the dotted line, or I'm going to blow up your civilization. That's just not how you negotiate. That isn't working. That's not a strategy that does things, that is productive. That may work with your MAGA Republican goons who are behind you, that they respond to ultimatums and threats that you don't follow through on. But Iran's not fallen for that. And most of the world isn't fallen for that anymore. And we can see the horrors of this Trump regime. We can see right here in the Hormuzgan province in southern Iran, we see that these water storage reservoirs were targeted by the United States. And don't tell me they weren't, or this is Iranian propaganda. We have the photos of it. We have the videos of it. We know the U.S. did it. The same way the U.S. blew up an elementary school in Manab and killed 168 little girls. By the way, the Iranian football team has the 168 pin, on their jackets right now. And I reflect on, what was it, May 13, 2025, when Donald Trump posted, "No inflation and prices of gasoline, energy, groceries, and practically everything else are down. The Fed must lower the rate like Europe and China have done. What is wrong with too late, Powell? Not fair to America, which is ready to blossom. Just let it all happen. It will be a beautiful thing." The thing is, if you were just normal, if you didn't tariff the world, if you didn't engage in this horrific behavior and start endless wars, we would have had 3 interest rate cuts by now, at least 3 interest rate cuts. The economy would be doing so much better if you just didn't do any of this crazy stuff. You literally had to just do nothing, and you could have taken credit for what Biden established and the framework he created, but you're incapable of that. And now we have Hegseth out in Cuba. This is what Hegseth is. He's cosplaying whatever this even is supposed to be. And while he's in Guantanamo Bay, because America still has that base in Cuba, he goes to the American soldiers. What happens in the future of Cuba is in the hands of the President of the United States and the leadership of Cuba. It's in the hands of the United States. I mean, you're going on Cuban soil, threatening the sovereignty there. It's disgusting. It's just despicable conduct. But watch for yourself. Let's play it.
What happens with the future of Cuba is in the hands of the President of the United States and the leadership of Cuba. No matter what, the Department of War is going to be prepared and postured for any possible contingency. We're here to talk about that today and then do a little PT. How's that sound?
Well, there you have it, folks. Wild. I mean, what a lunatic, he is. And so we'll keep reporting on it every day. Share this video with people you know so they can see for themselves that he said it. I love the inflation. He loves it. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.